And it's Feminine Fridays. I'm Laura Rubenstein here with Diane Halfman. Hi, Diane.
Hi, Laura. Great to be here and great to be here with all of you.
I know it's finally the end of the year. We're in the holiday mode. And so we thought we'd talk about our positive word this week of peace.
Yes, yes.
Namaste.
Absolutely. It makes me think of the peace that transcends all understanding, right? Like, what is
Mm.
that peace? What is that deeper peace that we can feel? And that peace is a choice.
Mm, it is. And we've talked a lot on our show about breathing, especially when we have non peaceful energy going on in our world and in our bodies. But becoming more peaceful adds peace into the world, I think.
I
So
agree.
I want to inspire and invite everybody to cultivate that peace. Like you said, it is a choice. Sometimes it doesn't feel like a choice because we're so mired in whatever other energy. But to bring ourselves back, for me, I like to breathe. And if you breathe for like a minute and focus on your breathing, I mean, you're breathing all the time, right? But if
Conscious breathing.
you're conscious breathing, or you do the Ujjayi breathing, which sounds like Darth Vader, but you close your mouth and you do that, right?
Yeah.
That, when you're narrowing the back of your throat, it's like you're hearing your own breath, like you were in the womb in a very safe, protected space. And when you can go there and feel that, release the fear, get back to peace, be there for as long as you can, because then it starts rippling out.
Right, right. I love this whole, concept about being at choice and doing things like breathing, like giving yourself some space of silence, even in, I don't know what you call regular years, right? I mean, it tends to be hectic around the holiday season. We're 1 week out, from Christmas, in the swing, of Hanukkah. I mean, there's just so many holiday things that are happening. But what are we doing to cultivate that piece and to actually bring that into our day? And one of the quotes I love is be at peace versus being in pieces.
Oh, I like that. And, we've started Feminine Fridays because we have the Feminine Power Cards that are available. They're a great peaceful gift at femininepowercards.com. So I can still ship them out. If you order today, I'll get you your deck out today. So I picked a card from the deck that spoke to me in terms of peace. And it says, practice compassionate self talk. Because a lot of times we're not very peaceful with ourselves.
Hmm. Yeah.
We're putting a lot of pressure on ourselves. We're worried about things. But what if we just say, you know what? It's okay, dear. It's really okay. What would you say to your best friend that you were trying to nurture? And so here's the tip. Today, treat yourself like you would treat a baby who's learning to walk. And write down 5 things that you can praise yourself and encourage yourself for. So just think about being peaceful with yourself first, because that
Right.
ripples out, right?
Definitely. Yeah. Especially when you can just choose like how you want to express yourself in the day, what's the flow of your day look like? How can you bring more peaceful moments, right? Maybe peace seems so big, but what can you do in like a peaceful moment and how you can actually express yourself in certain ways? I'm thinking like, this week, my aunt, my dad's sister passed away and she was 94 and lived a very, rich life, not COVID related. She just lived a very full, rich, life. And one of the things our family likes to do is do puzzles together, like, the jigsaw puzzles. And she's my aunt who did one of those like 10,000 piece puzzles. And just
Wow.
like, and it was one of those things that I find that that's like a peaceful thing our family does together. Like it's just, we talk and we put the pieces together and we really have this peaceful experience by this interaction. And I look at like the peaceful things that she did in her life and the things that we can do in our life that, is probably one of the reasons she lived to 94, right? It's like having those peaceful things in place gives it that longevity and has us feel better about our lives.
Peace practices.
Yes.
What are your peace practices? You have like your yoga practice, which could be a peace practice, but how are you practicing peace? Are you sitting and doing something that's very calming? It can be, if it's a good puzzle and it's not too hard and not frustrating, right? But it's calming. You're just kind of focused on one thing. That's kind of a meditative process. And then you're able to connect with people because you don't need all too much brain power, but you're in collaboration. And there's a peace. Peace starts with you, but then it connects with other people. And one of the things, like you can model for other people, and you probably do it when you're with family, and some people get upset when they can't find the right piece. Oh, I'm so upset. But you might model, oh, I wonder where that piece is. It's going to find me. I just know it, And then all of a sudden they're like, what? They're not upset? Like in their brain, they're not saying this out loud. They're not upset. Oh, but she just found it. Oh, that might work. So now you're kind of like, without saying a word about how to be around being peaceful, you just did it. And they can like, oh, I could do that too. Right.
Right, right. Yeah, I love how peace can be, a very passive thing where you can just be and emanate a sense of peacefulness. I mean, people who are like in a group and they're that peaceful presence, and it radiates to calm everybody else down, which is really great. So it can be a passive thing, but also can be a very active thing as well, where you are actively, having that energy of peace go out into the world and to really just shine from that place.
Yeah. And if you've been to a really good, and this is going to be a weird thing, but I know a lot of people have probably been to the hospital. I have a cousin who's in surgery this week, and the hospitals nowadays, good ones, are actually training their staff. And I was at a hospital when my dad had his heart surgery, and they said like they have this whole thing around kindness. And, when you're worried about a loved one in the hospital, you get anxious. And there's not a big sense of peace. But the way the staff behaves totally influenced me. And they lived that. They were like, I was so impressed because I hadn't been in the hospital a long time. But every oh, his blood pressure is going up. Could you check it? And because it was a heart thing. And they were like, I'll be right in with you. It's very important. I'll be right there. Yes. But you don't have to, but the blood pressure is okay if it goes up just a little bit. So they treated me with respect, not like, oh, lady, we see this all the time. Don't worry about it,
Right.
Rather than, but to have peace themselves, and they know that they're not taking my reaction personally, brought me peace that, then I could calm down, and I trust them more. Right.
Right.
So peace is in, let's spread it. And I learned that I don't have to be so anxious with them because they care.
Right. Right. Well, and as you were sharing that, I was thinking just the intonation that they're using, right? It's just being calm, having, just, like that voice of soothing authority, right? It's like, okay, I'm giving you this information with no need for us to escalate this. I mean, I think about the training Carrie and I do where we de-escalate situations. It has to do with how you show up in your presence, how, your speaking voice, how it is that you're coming across. Do people feel more at peace around you, or are you ramping people up? Right. And so to notice that impact that we have on other people can really give us good feedback on whether or not they feel peaceful in our presence.
Yeah. So let us know, how do you spread peace? Place your little thoughts and comments in the feed below. We want to know, how are you spreading peace? Do you like this idea? Have you been able to do it? Are you a little bit more anxious? Has this calmed you down a little bit, maybe? I find myself kind of chanting. I like chanting. It's very calming to me. And all of a sudden chants will come to me that I've done in the past. And they could be just little songs from jingles. They don't have to be like, some of them are sacred Sanskrit chants, and some of them are little jingles. Like I sometimes will wake up in the morning, and if I'm not feeling the energy of peace or positivity, I'll sing a song to myself. And it's a silly, silly, silly song. It's from a commercial in my childhood for Kellogg's, because you know what Kellogg stands for. It's KELLO. It's double good. It's gonna be a great day. So I'll just
I thought you were going to say, it's great.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great day, and then in fact, it's gonna be a great day. So you can do it any way you want, but get creative, get out of you got to break the patterns if you're not in a peace pattern. Ooh, peace pattern. So we're going to, peace is in, peace is, you can create peace. Like you said, it's a choice. And that's exactly what we want to do, is spread peace, especially during the season, which is about peace.
Yeah. One of the practices I love doing, especially this time of year, and I so love the creativity that people have with like the lights and decorations on their trees. And I just love that, when it's nighttime and you either go on a walk or you drive by and you just see all these little twinkle lights and these like little, people have just taken their time, whether they've made homemade ornaments or the wreaths or just it's just so like it's like this like captivating village that some neighborhoods have really banded together. And I think it's something a time of year where people do talk to their neighbors and they maybe comment on that. I mean, we even mentioned to our neighbors who we tend to go in and out a lot with our busy schedules and things, and we're just like, hey, those look really cool, like we really appreciate looking at this every day next door to us about what you guys have created. And I think that is something that radiates peace by just the lights in the area, the energy. There's something to be said about this time of year where we can cultivate that peace and really make it meaningful, which is, I think, a great time of the year as we start looking into what are our intentions in rounding out this year, what were our lessons from this year, and what are we doing moving into the next year. This is a great time to utilize that piece to really see what's important to you.
Yeah, and thanks for the love, Zeph and Stacy. This is just great. And then Linda had her comment. She likes the ideas we were talking about. So yeah, I like what you're saying about going into next year grounded in peace. Really, really important because next year there's gonna be a lot of change next year. It may not be right in the beginning of the year, but let's complete this year on a positive note, at least a peaceful note. Take from it. I did a whole show yesterday on Women's Speakers Association's channel with a bunch of members on what are the hidden gifts from this year. So, I'm not saying to deny the struggles or the changes. In fact, I'm saying just the opposite. To get to peace, we embrace the challenges. And when you can embrace them and acknowledge the gifts from either the challenge or that just came anyway, you get a sense of completion. And we can move on in peace to creation of what we want to create next, whether it's next year, in the middle of next year, it doesn't matter when, but it's next, right?
I like it.
So, really good to be with you here again. Check out Diane's podcast at Spotlight Podcast, the bit.ly link there, and Feminine Power Cards. If you want your own deck to bring you more peace, go to femininepowercards.com. I will mail them out as soon as I can. Can't guarantee them. Can't guarantee what the post office is going to do, but I will send them priority mail for you. So we look forward to having another episode after Christmas. Not sure if we're going to be here next week or the next, but we'll be here on another Friday for sure. And you and I should talk.
Absolutely.
We'll be here. So spread peace. Let us know how you're going to spread the peace. Be peace. Have a wonderful holiday, everyone.
Yes.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Kwanzaa, Festivus, whatever it is you celebrate. Love you
Whatever
all.
Peaceful holiday you want to celebrate.
Have a peaceful holiday. Love it. Happy New Year.
Bye.